Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be working on 9.2 and 9.3. We're going to review what are order pairs from 9.2 on your math workbooks on page 393. So we're going to make this connection. Locating a point on a coordinate grid is similar to describing directions using north, south, west, and east. The horizontal number line on the grid is the x-axis. The vertical line on the grid is the y-axis. So this is basically when we were discussing vocabulary, we went over this. Each point on the coordinate grid can be described by an ordered pair of numbers. The x-coordinate is a number in the ordered pair. It is horizontal location or the distance um, the point is from 0 in the direction of the y-axis. And then we have the y-coordinate, which is a second number. So basically here we have an ordered pair. The first digit in the parentheses is the x-coordinate. When we look at the x-coordinate, it runs horizontally, meaning from um, left to right. And so in the center, um, uh, this type of a graph starts with 0, and as it moves to the right, the numbers increase. So as you can see here, and this is the x-axis, x-axis. The second digit is a y-axis, and it's a y-coordinate. So it tells you where in the graph do we go up or down. So it's very similar to northwest, east, and south. Why? Because you can think of the x-axis as from going to west to east. And when you think of the y-axis, you're thinking of going north or south. A y-axis, in other words, is going up or down on the graph. All right, so here, unlock the problem, we have a graph. And if you see in this graph, there's points, right? We have the arena and we have the aquarium. So if you look at the arena point, okay, if you look how it lines up, okay, it lines up to the 3 in the x-axis. I'm on the 3 on the x-axis. So it lines up, the 3 lines up with the dot. So that will indicate to me that my x-coordinate is a number 3. And then we want to look up the y-axis. So arena, okay, this is our point. We're going to look now, how much does it go up or down? And here we could see that it lines up with the number 2. So that means that my y-axis is 2. All right, again, it's a 3 because going from side to side, it lines up with a 3. That's the x-axis. Up or down, it lines up with a 2 on the y-axis. That's why my y is a 2. Now let's look at the aquarium point, okay? We're going to find the order pair for the aquarium. Remember that the first digit on your coordinate is the x-axis. So if I look at the aquarium, it lines up with the 9. So that means that my first digit is 9. Then I look again to my point, the aquarium point, and now I look where it lines up to the going up or down on the y-axis, and it lines on the y-axis, it lines up with the 4. So my order pair for the aquarium is 9, 4 in parentheses. Let's take here on the share and show, for example. It says use a coordinate grid A to write an order pair for the given point. So they're asking us to find point C. I look at point C and I see that it lines up on the x-axis with number 6. So that means that my first point, okay, I'm going to open parentheses, my first point is 6. Then I put a comma. Now I'm going to look at where does it line up on the y-axis. So it goes up to number 3. So that is 3. the y-axis. Okay, so now let's try another example. Okay, let's find number 2, which is D. Okay, I'm trying to find the point D. So if you see this one, I want to find where is it on the x-axis. So I'm looking where it is in this line, and it's lined up with number 3, right? So D is lined up with 3. So that means that my first point, my x-axis, which is the first one, remember, x is first and then is y. So on the x-axis, D is the number 3. And then now I need to see what is the point on the y-axis. So I look on this line where it lines up. So it looks like it lines up with 0, okay, because it's on the line. So if it's on the line, it's 0. So my point is 3, 0, and that is the y-axis, y-coordinate. Okay, let's do one more, number 2. Oh wait, that was number 2. Okay, that was D. So that's 3, 0. Sorry. Okay, now let's do number 3. So number 3 is E, and we're looking at E here. Okay, again, my apologies. Number 2 was D, the one we just did. 3, 0. Now let's look at E. And so E, we're going to first check for, we're going to first check for where it lines up on the on the x-axis, which is the first point. So if we look where it lines up, it goes to the number 9. Now let's look where it lines up on the y-axis. So we check, it lines up to number 9 as well. Okay, that's on the y. So we're checking here, 9. So my order pair is 9, 9. Okay, so now we're going to continue. I want you to change your page to lesson 9.3, and this would be page 397. Okay, page 397. And so what we're going to go over is now how to graph data. So on the first part, you'll learn how to find the coordinates in a graph of an order pair. Now you're going to actually put the dot in the graph, okay, using collating data. Now for this part, I don't have, we would have to do an experiment, which, we're not going to do because of time and resources. But if we had done this experiment, you would have graphed, water temperature, but I don't have temperatures to do this. So we're just going to skip to the second page, which is page 399. And here we're recording, we have some information for Ryan's height. So we have here, write the order pairs for each point. So we have a graph, right? And it tells us in one his age. So when he was 1, how much was his height in inches? So he had a height of 30 inches when he was 1. When he was 2, he had a height of 35. When he was 3, he had a height of 38. When he was 4, he had a height of 41. When he was 5, he had a height of 44. So now, how do we graph this? Well, here's our graph, okay? We have a x-axis and a y-axis. On the x, we have his age in years. In the y, we have his height in inches. So the x-axis, which is his age in years, that would be, age in years, this would be the x, right? So we want to match it. And then on the height in inches, his height in inches, that's the y-axis. So we're going to label it here y. So basically, this is like writing, so in our first point, we're going to take these two numbers. If I write it as the ordinate point, we're going to write it in parentheses. So here, first question is, write the order pairs for each point. So on the first one, my first order pair will be X is first. So there will be 1, comma, and Y is 30. So my second point is 30. And then we close parentheses. That's my first order pair. Now let's do the second order pair. I have a 2 and a 35. X is 2, Y is 35. So I'm going to open parentheses. 2 is X and 35 is Y. Okay, so now let's do the second one, the third one. So on the third one, we're going to write the next ordered pairs, and we have X as 3, and we have Y as 38. Okay, and then that was our third one. Our fourth pair, okay, we have a 4 on the X axis because this is the X, and then we have a Y 41. Then on the fifth one, we have 5 in the X axis, and we have 44 on the Y axis. All right, so now we have written our order pairs based on the information of the graph. Let's read the next question. What does the order pair 338 tell you about Ryan's age and height? Okay, so as we look at number 2, basically what this information tells us is that what he was 3 years old, Ryan was 38 inches in height. Okay, that's basically what it tells us. Okay, so at age 3, Ryan was 38 inches tall. Now let's look at the next question. Why would the 0.6 comma 48, why would it not make sense? Okay, 6. What if that was a 6? Would that make sense if I put 6, 42 as the next coordinate plane, order pair? Why wouldn't it not make sense? Think about it. We'll talk about that. Or actually, I will ask you to answer that question on the slide. Okay, so that's how we graph order pairs. Oh, actually, let's graph it. I'm sorry. This is how we write order pairs from the table. Now we're going to graph it. So we look at the first one. It's 130. So X is 1. So I look at 1 here. Okay. And then I'm going to go up to 30. So I'm just going to, let's see. So I go up to 30. So my point is actually here. Let me erase that because that can get confusing. So that's my first order pair. Okay, my first point. I'm graphing this information on the graph. Then the second point we have is with the number 2. Okay, we start with 2 on the x-axis, and then we're going to go up to, it says 35. So I'm going to go up to 35. 35 would be in the middle of 30 and 40. Okay, and then we look at the next one, 3 and 38. 3 up to 38, that's going to be like in the middle of 35 and 40. Then we could look at 4. X is on the 4 axis. 41 is the number. So we go 4 and then we go up to 41. So it's a little bit above the 40 because we want to make sure we graph it in the right place. And then we have 5. We go 5 in the X axis, and then Y is 44. So we go almost to the middle between 50 and 40, but not there because it's 1 point before 45. And we have graphed that information. We will be practicing more. And if you need to see this example again tomorrow, please feel free so, but we will practice this in class as well.